Now, let's also look at the United Nations General Assembly. This seems to be the biggest event internationally that engages people. And looking at the president's speech at Hunger, where he acknowledged the contribution of 200 armored vehicles from the Jordan government. Does this signal a shift of military alliance with Jordan government?
Maybe that is your understanding. But remember that since the coming of this administration, Mr. President has been going around. He has met with G7, he has met with so many other countries, and we have so many MOUs with many countries that are willing to assist us. We have signed MOU with Italy, we have signed MOU with France, we have gone to Sudan, I've been to Egypt. All these are countries that are willing to assist. Jordan has obliged to assist us with their extra defense articles, some of the things that they have extras. America did some. They gave us some mine-resistant vehicles in the past. So it's not any going to the Arab or going. We have received so many assistance from different countries. The like Chad Basin Commission, even the EU also gave some assistance. So also with Great Britain, so many countries.
Now with President Muhammadu Buhari singling out the Jordan government and acknowledging it internationally at such level, isn't that symbolic?
Mr. President's speech captured all Africa. Like I said during my contribution there when they asked me, Mr. President made speech as an African, as President of Africa, not only Nigeria, whereby all the problems in the world, he offered solution, like that of Korea, whereby he offered a peaceful negotiation instead of going frontal. So it has honestly nothing to do with our alliance with Jordan. It's like so many other countries are willing to assist. So also with Saudi Arabia. They also intended to assist because of this coalition. America was there. During the last coalition conference that they had in Riyadh, they promised to carry everybody along, and America is the one spearheading the coalition against terrorism.
Now, it's been alleged that the federal government is politicizing the tackling of the herdsmen crisis in the country.
Herdsmen, do they have an organization? I ask you. You see, there are a lot of things that people are mixing up. This is a legal, I think it's legalized, it's something that may be looking for right, but not on unconstitutional manner or in a way that is not supposed to be. This has meant, you are talking of something that is not even identified. We are fighting cattle rustling. I don't know how they tag these cattle herdsmen. There are a lot of, in fact, there are places that we discover that people dress in the Fulani dress to go and fight so that they will be tagged as Fulani herdsmen. A lot of misinformation is going about this Fulani herdsmen. Cattle rustling is an international offense, not only in Nigeria. It happens in Kenya and many other countries, and that's what is happening in Nigeria too. They only tag these cattle herdsmen from nowhere. And I believe any organization or any group that is illegal, that is going through, bring security threat to our nation, will be handled squarely.
So now, if, as the defense minister, if you are to compare the two, which is more of a potential security threat between the herdsmen crisis and the IPOB's movement in the southeast? You
see, this is a group or an organization. I told you, there are two different things. This one is just people that go about their normal businesses. Maybe some of them there are armed robbers in the among them, or go on to rob or to steal cows, what do we call cow facility. As I'm talking to you in Zamfara, they were caught and they blocked road, and they were attended to. In fact, they killed some of them.
Some people are saying,
but the IPOB is an organization which is looking for something which I told the indices that they use in getting them prescribed. Even it's at low court.
What I'm saying in essence is that the federal government has been alleged of politicizing the military exercise in tackling the herdsmen crisis, that they've not been able to use the full military might, that they've been tackling them with kid gloves.
Like I told you that as I'm talking to you in Zamfara now, they are there fighting these cattle rustlers. So also in the north, in the north central. So it's not any way limited fight to one group or the other. This is something that you can't compare. They are not two. They are two different things.
Let's move over to the Boko Haram crisis in the northeast now. With the failure of the military to meet the September 1 deadline, does this give you something to worry about? Military
operations are not fixed that you say you must obtain your 100%. You give timeline. When the time did not come, you extend it. So it's issue of making active people. By the time you give them that deadline and timings, they will be more proactive, and more the morale and the other things that will follow up will be higher than when you leave it open. And that is why all military operations are targeted and given timeline. If the situation did not warrant getting the best out of it, then they extend it. That is what is happening. As I'm talking to you, it has been extended.
In terms of intelligence assessment now, have there been any intelligence assessment to ascertain why the military failed to meet the September 1 deadline?
That is not for public use. Like I always said, you aim at something, but you cannot get it 100%. One issue or the other can sabotage the your target timeline, and it could be adjusted. What we call flexibility is one of the principles of war. You cannot be rigid and say, okay, all you want to attain, it must be achieved within that particular timing.
Given a timeline in the military, by military standard, how much of strategic planning goes into this giving of a deadline?
Like I said, asymmetric warfare is quite different from normal warfare. There are so many things that can happen within the period of the timeline. The issue is whether Shekau is dead or alive. One day it will be discovered, because there could be so many Shekau. He will be killed today, another person can come out tomorrow and say he is Shekau. And all these things we have been pursuing it, we have been analyzing it, and at some time to come, all this one will be open.
Now, there's a big question that has been going around. I'm taking you back to the IPOB issue, and that's the question of the whereabouts of the IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Where is Nnamdi Kanu?
His lawyer or his other people should come up and tell us. As far as we are concerned, we didn't go for Kanu, and that is why I told you the issue of Python dance has nothing to do with IPOB. They went there for their normal constitutional duty of training, and that is it.
Shouldn't the federal government take responsibility for the whereabouts of Nnamdi Kanu?
That is why I'm saying, if we are the one that went for him and we didn't, he was not seen, then but he went into hiding. So we are also looking for him.
The fact is that Nnamdi Kanu disappeared after the Operation Python dance in the southeast. So now there is an inevitable link between the two now. So what's the federal government's reaction to this?
Now they pick you from my office. Definitely people have seen you. You've been picked, and where you've been taken to, or how you disappeared.
Now, before we wind down this conversation, now looking at the challenge of territorial sovereignty of the nation, how prepared is the Nigerian military to ensure peace and security in the nation and of the nation?
I'm telling you, our military, they are doing the best to keep our nation united. Since independence, the military have been the unifying factor of this country. And I assure you, our military is one of the best in Africa and one of the best in the whole world. We've been doing our constitutional role assigned to us, assigned to them, and I assure you, no individual or no group will stabilize this nation when our armed forces are alive.
The Honorable Minister of Defense, Brigadier General Mohammed Mansour Dan Ali, thank you so much for making our time to be part of this episode of Question Time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and you are welcome always. Thank you.
And that's it on this episode of Question Time. What's your take on the Operation Python Dance in the Southeast by the Nigerian military? Send us a comment on our social media platforms. Join us next week for a fresh episode of the show on Channels Television. Many thanks for watching. I'm Benga Ashur. Bye for now.